one parent we know who is overbearing, uninvolved in their kids' everyday lives, are very strict, and gossip too much. Today we are going to look at the types of parenting and the impact it has on kids. First, we'll talk about the overbearing parent and how it creates weak and frightened kids.
Next, we'll talk about the uninvolved parents and how they don't pay attention to their kids, therefore the kids are free to do whatever they want.
The strict parent creates more rebellious and sneaky children.
The gossip parents create a more rude and nosy child.
Studies show the type of parenting has a major impact on the child. There are many different types of parents, and these are some examples.
First, we will discuss the effects of an overbearing parent on the child. According to the dictionaryreference.com, the definition of an overbearing parent is to treat in a domineering way. Parents create weak and frightened kids. Kids are failing to learn independence. They rely on their parents for everything. Kids don't know their needs and values. When they need something, they don't know what to do, and they're just constantly asking their parents for everything. Kids don't have any confidence to bounce back after defeat. After they've been defeated, they just are always down on themselves. Also, parents do too much for the kids and don't let them help themselves. Many parents are overly engaged in their kids' everyday life. They're constantly checking on everything that the kids are doing. It's hurting the children's maturity, and kids are being treated like little kids. Children are in danger of learning how to solve their own problems and not getting what they want. When a situation occurs, they are at a total loss of what to do. Next, the overparented tends to be more weak. According to the article, Overparenting Creates Weak and Frightened Children by Anne McCod, she talks about how parents are filling out everything for their kids. Kids rely on their parents to do everything for them because they don't know any better. Kids aren't learning how to fend for themselves. Parents are doing their kids' homework and bringing them things immediately. If a child calls and says they need something, the parent will be right there immediately with what they need. For example, if they're in first hour and they realize they have gym class the next day, and they realize they forgot their shoes, they'll call their parents, and their parents will immediately bring it to them without any questions. Parents are constantly always looking to see if they have everything and doing the right thing. They are always going on parent view and checking their grades or looking in their kids' backpack at any missed homework or assignments. Parents sit down and do their kids' homework for them. Parents come home every day and look in their kids' backpacks and go through the children's homework without even the kids being there or participating with them. Also, the overparented children can be very frightened when it comes to serious situations, having to deal with their future. According to the article, Pushy Helicopter Parents Pat Universities Off Their Children by Patson Graham, they talk about parents filling out information for their kids. Parents have been starting to fill out transcripts and applications for colleges for their kids without the kids even knowing what colleges they want to apply to. Parents are signing their kids up for the ACT and just telling them when they have to go. Parents fill out all their kids' forms and events without their kid even helping them out or telling them what to write. Like if they bring a form home from school that they're supposed to sit down and do together, the parents will just fill it out for them. Parents are also handling their own kids' problems. Parents are taking control in their kids' lives and their problems. They're always trying to solve the problems for them and not letting the kid defend themselves when they should be doing that because that's independent and not the parent's problem.
We're going to take a look at a video of two overbearing parents on a college student and how she responds to it.
It could be messy. It's on the right. It's the white knob on the
Right side of the computer.
right side of the computer. It's the white box with a knob for it.
her. So she went to court to get them to stop, a judge issuing a restraining order. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with that ABC News exclusive interview. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Amy. Typically, restraining and stalking orders are issued in domestic violence cases with a spouse or boyfriend. But in this case, we are talking about a 21-year-old getting a stalking order against her parents. She is their only daughter, and they could now face criminal charges if they don't keep their distance.
I wanted to die in a field out of life, right? Like he was fine and mischievous, and I could flirt with and hurt me in all of his videos. That would be me now on to Toy Story.
Aubrey Ireland is a gifted 21-year-old theater major, often winning major roles in her school's musicals. But her latest win wasn't at her prestigious music conservatory, but in court after she filed a civil stalking order against her parents. Earlier this month, a judge ruled in her favor, ordering that her parents must stay at least 500 feet away from their only child.
They basically thought that because they were paying for my college tuition and living expenses, that they could tell me what to do, who to hang out with, and basically control all of my daily life.
The Dean's List student's complaints against her parents began when she realized they'd installed monitoring software on her computer and her phone, making the singing hopeful feel like, quote, a dog with a collar. They also paid unannounced visits to their daughter, traveling 600 miles from their home in Kansas to meet with Aubrey's department head, accusing their daughter of promiscuity, doing drugs, and having mental issues to the point where they were considering going to court to order that she get treatment.
My mom has always been very overly involved, and I would have to get on Skype all the time and show them that I was in my dorm room, or like there were nights where I had to leave my Skype on all night. And my mom would watch me basically sleep.
She claims her parents, David and Julie Ireland, have been diagnosed with codependency disorder, but they say their daughter is just a good actor, saying she's lying and calling her an only child who's been catered to all her life. Because Aubrey's cut ties with them in a very public way, they now want a refund of the $66,000 they've already paid for her education. Her mother says, "We're not bothering her. We're not a problem."
I never wanted this to happen. That's the last thing I wanted, but I wasn't in control of my life at all anymore. I knew that they were holding me back emotionally, mentally, and professionally, and that it got to the point where that was basically my last option.
Psychologists say boundaries can be tricky for parents with college-age children.
I have no idea whether she's mentally ill nor if the parents have any kind of problems that may lead to the behavior that's been described. What do you do when a person is 21 and you're still concerned about the well-being of your child? If your child has a mental health problem, you're still responsible for that child, even though they're 21 years old or 25 years old.
At a court intervention earlier this month, mediators told the Islands that they were the issue, not their daughter. When they then stopped paying her tuition, Aubrey was given a full scholarship from her school for her senior year. We did reach out to the Islands, but got no comment.
So as you can see, the parents might not realize that they're a problem in their kid's life, but the kid definitely notices it. On the other side of the spectrum, we're going to talk about the uninvolved parent. Uninvolved, defined by dictionary.com, is not included or involved. Now, this can be applied to many different aspects of parenting and have many different effects on the child, some of which I will cover today. The first, and in my opinion the worst, is skipping the child's activities. Let's take 7-year-old Susie. Susie's actively involved in dance and has been talking about a big dance recital to her uninvolved parent for weeks, which, according to Allison Feller's problem parents, is more often the father than the mother. So Susie is talking about this recital to her dad, and the dad doesn't want to go and definitely doesn't make an attempt to try to hide that. So Susie's some things that the father might say to Susie are telling her to find her own ride, or worse yet, walk. Or he might go, but wait outside or talk on his phone during the event. These actions can leave Susie to feel worthless or unloved by her parents, which, according to Harvard Mental Health Letter, dependent personality disorder may lead her to develop a personality disorder and trust issues later on in life.
Next, we will talk about a strict parent. A strict parent is defined as one to consistently enforce rules on a child or children within the household. A prime example of a constant enforced rule would be a curfew. The Minnesota state law states that 12 and under has a 9 p.m. curfew Thursday through Sunday through Thursday, and Friday and Saturday adding an hour. And for ages 15 through 17, it's an hour plus for each of those days. Even though there's a law stating that the curfew is specific, a parent would enforce different types of laws within their house, stating that you can't go out at a certain time even though the law states otherwise. A strict parent only enforces rules but can also be controlling within their child's life. For example, the parent might even pick out a child's clothing and they're a senior in high school. Another very common example is the parent's right to control the children's technology. Children have cell phones, computers, gaming devices that their parents can easily have censorship over. Many teenagers are facing problems, bullying over text, computer, etc. Teachers have linked unusual behavior in school settings based on the parenting at home, such as the child not being able to interact properly in a basic argument with another student. Another example would be not going to a teacher or a faculty member for that matter with problems. They go straight to the parent. An argument that is repeatedly being brought to attention is, do strict parents create a rebellious child? Which means, are they really helping their children with their overbearing tendencies? Studies show that when a parent enforces an extreme amount of rules on that child, that it causes them to lash out. This rebellious sides tend to have negative effects on the child's future, leading into trouble with the law. Rebellion starts in adolescent stages, which most adolescents are still living with their parents. Teenagers in today's world are always looking for ways to fit in with the crowd. A rebel child wants to be known as causing a scene. Their idea of a rebellion is breaking the rules, lashing out against fellow peers, and doing the opposite of what is expected of them. A prime example of a child's rebellious side is not only breaking the parents' rules, but rules in school, such as causing fights. One who starts fights is one that wants to be known, not for blending in, but for sticking out within the school. The opposite of a rebellious child caused by the parenting would be known as the sneaky child. A sneaky child is one who is, unlike a rebel, can bend the rules without being caught. Studies show that strict parents create a child that is not used to breaking rules, that they learn to invent ways of getting around everyday tasks in life. Note that one constantly bending the rules learns to never accept a rule. So is that a good or bad quality in a person?
Back to the uninvolved parent, another branch of being an uninvolved parent could be a general unawareness of the child. Such activities like gambling, drinking, drugs, and work, and the list goes on, could interfere with the parent-child relationship. And thus, in most cases, uninvolved parenting goes hand in hand with neglect and rejection, according to Anita Gurian's parenting styles. Another situation that classifies as uninvolved parenting is a situation where the child has to take care of the parent, such as the case in the 2012 movie The Hunger Games, where Katniss has to take care of her mother after the death of her father. Generally, uninvolved parents don't have many, if any, rules at home. So, due to their unlimited freedom, the kids might have trouble with the school or the law after their adolescence, because they are not taught to respect and obey rules. It is also true that they feel more prone to act out, according to Ruth Graham's Family Matters. Accompanying the need to act out is the feeling of superiority or limitless behavior. Not all superior thinking people have uninvolved parents, but those with uninvolved parents also strive for the attention they're lacking at home. Now, asking whether uninvolved parents, the lack of parental